Jamie from the Australian Centre for Disability Law. How can I help you?
Oh, hi, Jamie. It's Bruce McMaster here. I'm calling from Brighton in Victoria, and I'm just calling on behalf of my nephew. He's suffered a fatal injury in a hospital, which was a suicide. He's got himself into all sorts of trouble because he's framed himself from the law, and there's a big movement to oppress and destroy him because he was framed as a rapist, you see. And we're trying to get him to admit it before anyone gives him a lawyer. But I feel a bit of compassion for him, and I'd just like to say that you do get legal help for people with disabilities, don't you?
Okay, so our centre, the Australian Centre for Disability Law, we help people that are being discriminated against because of their disability. So we don't help people that just because they have a disability.
Yep.
They have to have some sort of discrimination because of that disability.
I see.
In saying that like you did mention you're from Victoria.
Yes, I
so
do.
We only do help. Our catch point is only within New South Wales, unfortunately.
Why do you call yourself the Australian Disability Law Centre then?
Yeah. So
Are you denying me service out on account of the fact that I'm outside of New South Wales?
So, like I said, we help people within New South Wales because that's our primary legislation. So
So it's your only legislation?
Like I said, so it depends.
Depends. Well, I'm requesting that my nephew get some help. He's been discriminated against because he's got a disability.
Well, like I said, we help people within New South Wales. So if you were looking to...
So what is it? Is it because I'm not in New South Wales, or because you don't think he's been discriminated against when you don't know the story yet? Which one is it?
Well, that's the thing. No, because like I said, I'm only a volunteer. I'm just informed.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're a volunteer. You're a representative of the Australian Centre for Disability Law. And are you telling me that you are not going to help me today because I'm outside of the remit of New South Wales? Yes or no?
Well, I can provide you assistance in obtaining further referrals in your area, so within Victoria, as you mentioned.
So you do take referrals within Victoria?
Sorry?
You do take referrals within Victoria?
No, so I can provide you to some referrals to some services.
I'm asking you, as a representative of the Disability Law Centre, it's Bruce McMaster here from Brighton, and I'm asking you, will you take my client's case if he's in Victoria?
Like I said, I'll have to bring it up with your solicitor. I'm just letting you know.
Well, I'm just telling you that my nephew's been framed out of the legal fraternity. That is because Mr. Ball, a very powerful, huge person in Australian politics, informs the government ombudsman, you see, and he's scapegoated Richard and framed him as an extortionist. And Richard's found himself outside of the law. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that it's not within the law for Richard not to have a lawyer, because at the moment he's suffered millions of dollars in detriment, and the caveat that they're holding over him is his apparent, this rape that he's supposedly guilty of. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's actually illegal for him not to have a lawyer. So can you please stand in and advocate for him?
Well, and sorry, you meant what's his condition? Sorry, and how is he being discriminated against because of his condition?
He was fired. He's been exploited. He's lost cases at AFCA. He's lost cases at the Australian Human Rights Commission, and he's had his freedom of information denied from the Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet. He's also he's had his other information discriminated against. He's been discriminated against by the police. He can't actually report crime to police or even actually go to police. He is a person...
What's his condition, did you say?
He has schizophrenia and bipolar, ADHD. He has personality disorder. He has... what was the other one? Adjustment disorder and ADHD. So he's clearly got some issues that are systemic and very well known. Now, he's been rejected help from the Australian Human Rights Commission. He's lost $1.5 million there. He lost another $1 million or $2 million at AFCA, who eventually ended up banning him, literally banning him from the service. And he also lost his work cover case. Poor bastard sitting there at home, and he's got no one. He's got no legal rights whatsoever. and the government have just utterly blacklisted him. Now, he is owed a work cover case, which goes back to February 2021, and WorkSafe has just simply banned him from contact. He's suffering great detriment, and he's been discriminated against. There's no doubt that he has a mental illness, and there's no doubt that he's lost out big time in this life.
And you said he needed representation, or
he needs a lawyer. It is illegal. It's outside the Charter of Human Rights of a person with a disability to be discriminated against, to be taken advantage of, to be exploited, or to have his the sanctity of life removed from him. And he's actually already, from this persecution of never having a lawyer and being forced into financial servitude and having nothing, he actually killed himself, and it was successful. The Freedom of Information from the hospital says that it was a fatal injury, and further to that, he's never been able to get help from a lawyer anywhere, anyhow, and that's because Mr. Ball of Ball and Partners has framed him as an extortionist, which he only found out after he'd killed himself. So clearly, he's been discriminated against very systemically and profoundly from many angles.
Okay, and sorry, can I get your name, sir, and just a contact number?
Bruce McMaster.
Sorry, say one more time.
Bruce McMaster. Bruce McMaster. McMaster.
Okay, your phone number?
I don't wish to give out my phone number, please. I'd prefer to be contacted on email.
Okay, because like I said, because I have informed you already that we only helping matters within New South Wales.
You just said to me that you came up to the bit where you're going to get my phone number, and then I didn't give it to you, and that's flagged you as saying, it's flagged you, and you're denying help to my nephew, aren't you?
No, because I was going to say I was going to get the solicitor to call you to inform you of our services, but as you mentioned, you don't want that to happen. So
well, all right. Well, if you're going to get the solicitor to call me, I may permit it. Can he email me this afternoon, please? It's quite a desperate situation. He's actually been oppressed so much, he's under risk of killing himself. And if the lawyer doesn't intervene, he's actually discriminating against him as well.
Like I said, I can't promise that the lawyers can assist, as I mentioned earlier. But like I said, they can. Like, it would be best if you speak to them, because you have told me the situation. I'm just a bit confused as to, because you told me that, your nephew's conditions, but you also said that he has successfully committed suicide.
Well, he killed himself. It was successful, but he was revived. He was revived from certain death.
Right.
The hospital report says it was a fatal injury and a lethal attempt. Now, he had no blood and was found unresponsive without a pulse. This is from the systemic abuse that happened to him.
Like I said, it would be best if you speak to a solicitor in regards to this.
Well, that's why I called up, sir.
Yeah, I understand that, but like I said, I am only a volunteer and a solicitor.
It doesn't matter that you're a volunteer. Don't say you're just a volunteer, as if you're forgiving that you can even actually help me. I think it's really important for you to now, as your role as a volunteer, which is still has responsibility, under this vile situation of Richard being at risk of imminent death, to actually get the lawyer to call me back.
Well, Bruce, the whole point of me informing you volunteers, because if you're asking for advice, I would tell you that I wouldn't be able to provide such advice. So,
can you guarantee me that a solicitor will call me back today?
Yeah, we said call back, but you haven't provided me.
What if I provide you with my phone number?
Well, like I said, so if you give me the phone number, I can inform my solicitor of what's happened. They can look into providing you with that information that you provide. If we can assist or we can't assist. But as you mentioned,
it would be abhorrent for you not to help my nephew.
Like I said, I cannot promise that we can or not.
But it's against the Charter of Human Rights of a person with a disability not to have a lawyer. You are the Disability Advocacy Centre, Australian Centre for Disability Law. You would think that you would understand that it is against the law for Richard not to have a lawyer. Can you please get the solicitor to call me back?
Yeah, I understand that, Bruce, but you haven't provided me with your number.
04 59
Yep.
0459 708 500.
500. So did you say 0451 or
0459. I think it's 0459 708 500.
500? Okay. Like I said, I'll provide that to the solicitor, but I can't promise you that they can assist on that. Okay, Bruce?
I don't find that sufficient. When will he call me back, please?
Like I said, he is busy at the moment, but I'll let him know. I cannot provide.
It's an urgent situation.
Yeah, I understand that, Bruce. Like I said, I will let him know that it is urgent, but like I said, I cannot make a decision on his behalf or on the solicitor's behalf.
What is the solicitor's name, please?
Like I said,
What is the solicitor's name, please? I don't think you're helping me.
solicitor's name will be Harry.
Harry who?
Like I said, just Harry.
Why won't you give me the solicitor's name? He's not a spy. Is he? He's not from ASIO. He doesn't have to have his identity removed. Who is the lawyer? What is his name?
Like I said, his first name is Harry, Bruce. I'll let him know that you've called. I'll also let him know of what you've told me and that you would like a call back urgently. But like I said, I can't promise it'll be today. But like I said, I will let him know that it is urgent and he will do his best.
It is an urgent situation. My nephew has no food. He has no money. He has no rights, and he's been discriminated against. You are the Australian Centre for Disability Law. I'm calling with lots of money to give you, and I'm offering to pay you to help him. And I expect that you will call him back, and this Harry person, you won't give me his name. You say that you might not be able to help me. You can't guarantee. And you also say that you might be today or might be tomorrow. I'm telling you now, he has been oppressed and murdered, and he survived. And you were telling me it might be tomorrow. What kind of person do you think you are? You are seriously aiding and abetting his likely death. Do you know that, sir?
Like I said, I cannot provide advice. I will inform the solicitor. He has other tasks that he may have to attend to. But I will let him know that it is urgent, Bruce, okay?
It is not sufficient of you to say that. When will he call me back, please?
Like I said, I don't know when he's going to call you back. He has other tasks that he may have to attend to.
I have got other tasks too. We've all got other tasks, but you are the Disability Law Centre. It's a disability law issue, and you serve in Victoria, and this person is at great risk. Why wouldn't you help him?
Bruce, I have informed you that, like I said, we do help people within our catchment area, which is New South Wales.
So you're changing the story again. Will you help someone in Victoria?
Like I said, I am a volunteer. I cannot...
It doesn't matter you're a volunteer. It matters that you help my nephew.
Bruce, it does, because if someone is to help, it would be a solicitor. I cannot provide any legal advice to your nephew as I don't have that education.
Let's be very, very concrete, sir. What is your name, please?
My name is Jamie.
Jamie who?
Like I said, I don't have to provide you with my last name, Bruce.
Does disability law serve people in Victoria? Yes or no?
Well, our catchment is in New South Wales.
Well, yes or no? Yes or no?
So, for people in Victoria,
This is exactly the discrimination Richard faces. Do you know that? Do you know that, sir? This is exactly the discrimination Richard faces. It is against the law for a person with a disability not to have legal representation, and the law knows this. And the law absolutely identifies people who stand for him, and they persecute him because he has a disability. Why wouldn't you help him? Is it because you think he's a rapist?
No, it's because, as I said, I don't have the education, Bruce. As I mentioned, I'm only a volunteer.
It doesn't matter that you're a volunteer. Why are you rejecting his help?
If I give your nephew advice and something occurs, then that's on my head, Bruce. Do you understand that? I cannot provide advice.
It is on your head because I'm recording this conversation. If you do not call me back and he dies, it is also on your head.
Like I said, so I'll give it to the attention of the solicitors and they will look into it. Have you looked at other services within Victoria that may be able to assist?
I have. And I picked yours.
Like I said, I would suggest also looking at other services within Victoria. Because they may
Are you serious? He's at great risk. Get the lawyer to call me back as soon as possible, please.
Yes, Mr. Bruce. I have said I will let the know as soon as possible.
Doesn't sound like you're helping very much, mate, but I will leave it to you. And if he dies in the meantime, or is suffering detriment, and he has no money, no food, no rights, and no lawyer, I will hold you to account. Do you understand, sir?
Of course, Bruce, I understand that.
Thank you.
Your phone number is 0459 708 500, is that correct?
That's the number I'm on. I'm with my nephew tonight, and that's his number.
Okay, so if he, will you have that number in your...
I will be on that phone later on because I'm going to visit him.
What time will you be with him though?
I'll be with him at 4:30. 4:30 today. 4:30.
Oh, 4:30. Okay then. Is there a number that we can call earlier than that?
Yes. But I don't wish to give it. I wish to call it his number. Thanks, and I look forward to your call at 4:30. Thanks for your help.
We call that number then, Bruce, and you don't pick up, then how are we supposed to proceed?
Anyway, just can you please call at 4:30 the number I gave you?
Alright then, Bruce, we'll call at 4:30.
We look forward to your help.
Just to know.
You've been so helpful so far.